fourth grade. It's Miss Frannis, and we're going to be starting a new unit, and we're going to be spending several weeks on it. We're going to be talking about 6 traits in writing, and we're going to start with idioms, and that's the first thing we're going to be talking about. Through this 6 traits of writing unit, we're going to hopefully make better choices in our writing and make our writing more interesting. And so today we're going to start with idioms. Even More Parts is the name of our book today. And what is an idiom? Well, we have a sheet right here, and it says be on the lookout for idioms, and there's going to be a lot of idioms in this book. An idiom is an expression that cannot be understood from the meaning of its separate words. So that sounds a bit confusing, but here's an example. Oh my gosh, that test was a piece of cake. Well, of course, you know that idiom is a piece of cake. So it's super easy. You heard that in a sentence, but if I would just say, oh, a piece of cake, you're going to think, ooh, cake, I love cake. So you have to think about the contents of the context of the sentence in order to understand what an idiom is. That's easier said than done. So when I say a piece of cake, well, it can mean 2 things. It can literally mean a piece of cake, or this test was a piece of cake, meaning it was super easy. So idioms can mean something different depending on the way you use them in the sentence. So today is our book, Even More Parts, written and illustrated by Ted Arnold. And I like the title page because it says idioms from head to toe. And it says, quit messing with my head. And of course, that's an idiom. Sometimes I wish my stupid ears weren't always open wide. They hear such strange and crazy talk. I'm scared to go outside. I jotted down a list of all the scary things I've heard. Believe me, all of these are real. I wrote them word for word. To leave my bedroom unprepared, I'd have to be a fool. Excuse me now, there's work to do before I go to school. I lost my head. It makes my head spin. I laughed my head off. My head is in the clouds. I keep changing my mind. I keep an open mind. My mind is wandering. I lost my marbles. I want all eyes on me. I cried my eyes out. I have eyes in the back of my head. My eyes are glued to the television. My ears are burning. I'll give you an earful. Hey, I'm all ears. Lend me your ears. My nose is running. My nose is buried in a book. Keep your nose out of other people's business. I'll just follow my nose. I'm all tongue-tied. I got a tongue lashing. Whoops, a slip of the tongue. I told 10 tough tongue twisters. That's also an alliteration, and we're going to be talking about alliteration a little bit later. Don't give me any of your lip. Loose lips sink ships. I'll zip my lips. My lips are sealed. I have a frog in my throat. I have butterflies in my stomach. Cat got your tongue? No, I have ants in my pants. I sang my heart out. She stole my heart. Have a heart. I have a heart of steel. I'm hard-hearted. My stomach is growling. My fists are flying. My teeth are chattering. My tongue is wagging. Please lend me a hand. I'm short-handed. You have a green thumb. No, you have 2 green thumbs. I love finger food. It cost me an arm and a leg. I had to foot the bill. I had to pay through the nose. Try what I do. Put your money where your mouth is. I put my foot in my mouth. Oof, I started off on the wrong foot. Always put your best foot forward. I'm feeling footloose and fancy free. I better toe the line. Here's a tow truck. That's not an idiom, that's a pun. And if you look really close, that tow truck is filled with toes. It's not an idiom, it's a pun. It's very punny. Huh? Ugh, it made my skin crawl. It made my jaw drop. It made my hair stand on end. It made my stomach turn. I got all bent out of shape. I couldn't keep a straight face. I got my nose out of joint. It twisted my arm. I went to pieces. Pull yourself together. I came unglued. You got guts. There are so many crazy things I have to keep in mind. I sure didn't want to accidentally leave my parts behind. Mom says, "Dear, it's time for school. Let's go or you'll be late." Then Dad says, "Just remember, son." Keep your head on straight. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found some really interesting idioms that you can use in your writing. Remember, you don't want to overuse idioms. You don't want to overuse anything that we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks. But if you want something interesting to kind of punch up your writing, substitute a word for an idiom or a phrase for an idiom. It makes things a bit more interesting. And that's what you're going to be doing today. You actually have an idiom here on your paper, and you're going to choose the word that would best be substituted out for it. So, for example, it's called hit the books, obviously an idiom. My suggestion is to get a puppy went over like a lead balloon. So my suggestion to get a puppy went over like a lead balloon. So went over like a lead balloon is the idiom. Well, of course, it would be failed, and you would circle failed. So let's listen to this sentence. My suggestion to get a puppy failed. Okay, that's a fine sentence. But my suggestion to get a puppy went over like a lead balloon. That's much more interesting. So when we use an idiom, it kind of punches up our writing and makes it more interesting. So you're going to learn all sorts of different phrases and things to use for your writing to make it more interesting. So ladies and gentlemen, keep this someplace safe, because when you're writing and you might have that writer's block, you can pull all these papers out and you can say, hey, I know a cool idiom, or hey, I know something, an alliteration that I can use. So those are all going to be different things that we're going to be learning with Parts of Speech and 6 Traits of Writing. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week. Bye.